All right, welcome back to the show. I am super excited for today's episode because we are going to be sharing the opportunity of eXp Commercial with none other than the founder and president of eXp Commercial, James Huang. And I'm super excited to have him on the show because I myself don't know too much about the commercial space, and I am personally ready to learn. And it's going to be a big opportunity. It already is for commercial brokers here at eXp Commercial. So I'm super excited to have you on. Welcome to the show, James.
Kobe, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here. And I always love to share and catch up and, just inform, right? Because we all know we're going into interesting times. And I would say for my journey, I was there last cycle. So I always love to share with other people how to get through this and how to stay strong and really to connect with each other.
Right. Yeah. And that's really interesting that you shared that because I know you have a really, really extensive resume, a really impressive resume in the commercial real estate space. So I really kind of want to just have you come on and introduce yourself a little bit and tell us about how the journey came about where you are now leading the expansion of our commercial division here at eXp.
Kobe, thank you. So I actually fell into commercial and real estate by accident, right? No one really knew what they were going to do. If you don't wake up when you're younger, I'm going to be a real estate agent or a commercial real estate agent. But one of the things that moved me on the path was I was in finance in Wall Street. It did show me that how to crunch numbers and work on it. I did then go to work in a private equity firm in real estate. So did real estate portfolio where I worked under the CEO of one of the largest TIC syndicators. And that kind of tells you when you call it TICs, now it's called DSTs. But I got to learn about underwriting, about marketing, so many things working under the CEO, but also seeing that we were buying so many buildings from this one company, Marcus and Millichap. So I'm actually proud to say, I learned from Marcus M&M, even though they always said it's not the easiest place to learn from, but many of the leaders in the commercial real estate industry was there, evolved from there. And so when I decided to leave a W-2, right, consistent paycheck, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I took the dive to go to Marcus and Millichap, learned the business. I really enjoyed making the calls, building a reputation of being an expert in your market, which that's what we were taught, getting to know the market, and eventually starting to buy and build equity, right? Syndicating deals with one of my friends. So much so that eventually I left 4 years later to start my first company, BRC Advisors, which one of my partners still handles it today. He owns it now. And he grew it, to a point where we grew it to 180 commercial brokers. And I always say times were good. And then 2009 hit, as everyone knows, the residential market turned bad in 2007. But because commercial lags residential, 2009, after Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers, basically collapsed, went bankrupt, is where we saw the entire market, right? The financial market kind of melt down in 2009. And I would say during that whole summer, no business was done in 6 months. So, learning from that hard experience where I thought I was retired, I thought the company was great, I thought all this equity was built up, to really losing and having nothing was a kind of an eye-opening experience. But I'll just tell people trying to go through that, I appreciate it now, to reprioritize what's important in life, giving back to others, helping, being happy, being content, is really what I thought was the most important. So, that's what's really relevant today, Kobe, of being there in 2009. And I would just say, if there's not anything else, I kept on growing to a point where one of my business managers worked for, I'd say, a top franchise national company where I went to run it as president. And I wanted to merge it together with eXp because I heard eXp was looking to do commercial, and done it for, did commercial real estate for 25 years, built my own firm, learned from one of the best real estate firms, franchise, learned how to run that business to a point where this is my third time around growing a commercial real estate company. And I did say, it's not just about doing the brokerage business, it's controlling all of the services, because the term in commercial real estate is full service commercial real estate. So Kobe, that's the goal of us at eXp Commercial, as the fastest growing commercial. Year one, year two, we're building a lot of these services to be full service. And then with Michael Valdez and our great leadership and Dave Kennard and everyone else in eXp, right? Glenn gave us the platform, Jason Gessing, Jeff Whiteside. I mean, so many people to name, that we built this company as a way where commercial can thrive.
Right. Yeah. And I'm really glad that we have somebody like you leading our in our commercial leadership team because of your extensive background. Now, you mentioned you have 25 years of experience leading commercial real estate in commercial real estate. And if you guys are watching this on video, James does not look like somebody who's been in real estate for 25 years. He looks very young, vibrant, energetic, right? You can hear it in his voice if you guys are listening to this on audio as well. So from your extensive experience, I mean, what are you seeing now that the eXp platform is providing for the commercial side of real estate that you would say is disruptive or is changing how commercial real estate is being done that you haven't seen in the past in your experience in commercial real estate?
Yeah, Kobe. So one of the biggest thing what I saw as I had an opportunity to join and be part of leadership in many other firms. The difference is there's the full service commercial firm and there's the residential, right? Resi-mercial kind of doing both. So those are the both extremes. The extreme at the top end are the multinational full service commercial firm. They are usually publicly traded. They're corporate, not franchised, right? And they have all these other services and systems and consulting. And some of them actually have their own REITs or funds that they have. To the other side is the residential firms, like everyone knows, all the residential large ones, franchise firms, or even some corporate ones. But those are the two extremes. What I saw was the opportunity at eXp was built on the backbone of how eXp grew and our culture. I love what Glenn said, agent-centric. Agent-centric. Most things are what can you do for the company of branding them. Here, it's what can the company do for you? I mean, and most people here can speak with anyone. Just you reached out, Kobe, I'm here. I'm talking to any one of our leaders up to our CEO, up to our founder, Glenn Sanford, would be able to jump on a call and do a video for you. So that's what I really liked is I saw the platform and I watched it for 4 years. So like many others, I studied, I watched your organization, right, the company for 4 years through Tom Trong. He was ARIA's national president. I was following in his footsteps as the next ARIA national president for 2020. But I watched, right? I'm always open-minded to learn. And what I saw was a great platform to grow agents. I like technology. I knew, and we all knew, technology was the way to go. Yeah. And with the open-mindedness of their leadership, also said, here at eXp is the right place to grow a new commercial real estate firm. With the open-mindedness, built on tech, and the success of how fast you grew the realty and tapping into the residential groups too. So with eXp Commercial, we are a separate company. Because we're publicly traded, we have an advantage. Because we are corporate, not franchised, we have an advantage. And my value that I brought was bringing myself and all of my friends and their friends. So all of these super experienced commercial leaders, domestically and worldwide, are year 1, year 2, year 3, as time goes on, are starting to all come over to build the best platform in commercial real estate, but the best culture of collaboration, sharing, and community, because we have a really good, commission structure, where in commercial, they don't cap their commissions. It keeps going.
Right. Yeah, that is something that I've heard a lot about, is that in commercial, with most commercial brokerages, there's no cap, right? And that's, I mean, for most top producing agents, that's been an issue we've seen on the residential side as well, is that when you actually sit down and run the numbers side by side, you're actually making more money here at eXp without all the ancillary services, without considering stock, without considering rev share. It's just one of the best models out there. And I think was something that you said as well, is that, and this is from my limited knowledge of commercial real estate and the commercial world, is most commercial brokers, they don't necessarily have their own personal brand, or they're not necessarily making a name for themselves. They're not the ones on HGTV on Selling Sunset or whatever. There's no Ryan Serhant of commercial real estate, right? I mean, maybe you could correct me here. Maybe there is, and I'm just ignorant to the fact that there is.
No, the only thing would be, other finance, what is it? On CNBC, they show it different, but we don't do TV shows and everything else. It's just not what we do. Actually, it's so funny where my first company, we actually were on some of the shows. Uh, yes, if you look back, I could tell you, to the bane where people were calling me, Jim, why is your company on the TV shows and different things? But, it's not a normal practice. Commercial real estate is more stealth, more quiet. We don't like to let people know when you're transferring, especially large, very large, hundreds of $1 million buildings. Where are you building, the development, what large leases are moving in, right? These are very confidential and stealth. So that's why commercial real estate is very private. We deal with a bunch of experts, attorneys, everyone is usually under confidentiality of how we do it. So we don't really share it and show so much. We will talk about it afterwards, but not during, right? Or not exposing it. And most of us, we just go by just doing the deal, doing the business.
Right. And that's exactly why commercial needs to be more stealthy, right? And that's why, most brokers or most commercial brokers don't make an individual name for themselves. It's kind of a lack of individuality, if you will. And I think, maybe you can touch on this as well. That's one of the big things I think eXp has allowed commercial brokers to do, which is they have stood out as individuals, right? So somebody that I know, I think as a friend of yours as well, Daniel, right? In Dallas, he's, really blown up on social media now. He's a commercial broker. And before that, maybe just because he wasn't with eXp, but nobody's really, kind of heard of him, or there was no incentive to kind of go out there and build the personal brand. Is that right?
And that's exactly right. When I first started, it was all about the company. Right. As time is changing, we know the companies are great. It's a great platform when we started, but later on, it's the relationships. We all know that. These agents maintain the relationships, but they weren't branding themselves. But recently, at these large firms, they're allowing people to brand themselves, but still in a way branding the firm. Here at eXp, it's great. You're branding you, coming in or new, building yourself, building your brand, because that's portable. You can bring it, you can scale it, you can grow it, you can do so much, you can will it, right? There's other things you can do with your brand that you're building. And more so nowadays with social media and influencing, there is so much you can do with branding that I think with commercial agents, without just kind of telling all your secrets or what other people are doing, and maybe you do, maybe you want to, right? We never know, pushing the envelope, but how can we brand ourselves? Because we know sometimes we're not going to always be real estate or developers or syndicators, but maybe we want to go coaching, teaching, giving back to society. But by building your brand and your influence, you are actually keeping alive your future of so many more things you can do, rather than just I'm pigeonholed into real estate. Now you are something else because people are following you. They're enjoying the journey, good and bad, of whatever you're doing, right? Now you can pivot in to do so many other things and really using that influence to make this a better world and giving back, serving the community, or whatever your passion will be, even past when you're retired and money doesn't matter anymore.
Oh yeah. I love that. I love that you mentioned that, because that's what I think eXp as an overall organization is all about. It's not, we just added success coaching and the new focus on health, right? It's not just about real estate. It's how do we build individuals? How do we build entrepreneurs? And, as an overall human being, instead of just being real estate.
That's right. Yeah. And that's the exciting thing of this platform. It's as the sky is really the limit. The leadership they're so open. The people are here to collaborate and share ideas, brainstorm, to really build this company, right? Because we know industries always change, but to me, I see eXp as an incubator, accelerator, this ecosystem of creating so many things that you can build, you can give, you can share. I mean, it is really exciting what I see here. And it's just organizing and getting more efficient, but just the opportunity I do see, and especially in commercial, because it is so different than anything else, because we know residential usually leads transformation, change, adapting to technology. And we see what's going on in the realty residential world. Commercial, because of COVID, and this interest rate hike, right, is changing the way commercial's done. Fact in point, office buildings now, remote working, just like what Amazon and many others changed the retail market. Now with the remote working, the metaverse, like what we're doing here, right, we can now work in any way, style, shape, or form. And I'll even say this, why do I say we're on TikTok in different ways? The younger and new generation wants to work this way. You can't force them back into the office full time. It is this hybrid. It is work where you want. It is building your business wherever you can. And because we're corporate, not franchise, we're in 23 different countries. There is so much you can do. And the more and more we expand this platform for you to plug in to wherever you're at, those are the opportunities. So it is working in different ways for every generation. You can plug in to do your business.
Right. And that's a big change. I think what you mentioned, since 2020, since COVID was, people are now seeing the benefits of remote work. Right. And I think that's a really good thing. But I think from the commercial real estate side of things, and this is not a concern, but a question I've always had. And, now that I have an expert sitting in front of me, I need to know this is, with this new focus on remote work, how has that affected commercial real estate as an industry, right? Less people are going to want to be going into buildings. Office space is not as in high demand anymore. Is there a shift? And if, there is, what is it and how are we adjusting, in the commercial side of real estate?
And commercial is always, we always say repositioning assets, right? What is best use? From ground up, you develop it. We see core areas like in inner cities, they boomed, right? 20s, 30s, started declining. People moved out to the suburbs. And then there was always a reemergence, right, of these economic BID areas where things started popping back up. So it is this ebb and flow and repositioning asset, whether you're tearing down a building, you're building a new building. We see malls, right? Because I'm a part of ICSC, the International Council of Shopping Centers. Big deal for a while. Shopping, there was no online. Back in the early times, open malls, Main Street, right? There was always a Main Street, old school. People created malls. Malls, then it started falling apart. They readapted malls in heavy traffic infilled areas. The D malls started falling apart. They had to figure out what they have to do with them, because think about it, like Sears used to be a giant, right? Then we had, right. Macy's is still around, but, struggling. There's all these brands, right, that changed because technology. Shopping has changed, has been going through changes ever since the internet, right? With the website. Now office, because of remote working, offices are being affected, but now industrial. These hubs are popping up everywhere. Industrial hubs, last mile transportation of how this, supply chain delivery of material. People are saying, one day you may see these drones flying around, dropping off your package, right? So these are the interesting things that commercial is ready for. We adapt, we look at properties, we recapitalize, we move money around, we reposition assets if we can. If not, sometimes you tear them down and you build something else up there, right? Or sometimes you move in other areas. But that's the fun thing about commercial. There's always something going on. And because we have different product types from multifamily, retail, office, industrial, land goes in so many ways, from agricultural, to development, infill, right? So many uses of land. And then when you have business op, leasing, right? Services, property management, asset management, capital markets, corporate services. I mean, you have all of these things you do, and that's commercial real estate. So when we say during these changing times, commercial, we keep our eye, we watch reports, we always read the tea leaves, watching indicators, watching unemployment, watching, the 3-year inverted yield curve, all the good stuff. I mean, we're just junkies on this, but understanding this helps us pivot, reading reports all the time, a lot of times being experts, staying in our lane, talking to other experts to put this complicated puzzle piece together. And that's what's fun.
Right. Yeah. And I'd love that you said that, because I think there's people who aren't really in commercial real estate, or they're not familiar with commercial real estate, and they just see, they see it from a residential or a realty standpoint or a point of view where it's just, oh, this is affecting it. And it's, we have to shift to this, or we have to, real estate agents are going to be out of business or because Zillow has come in or whatever, something like that. So I think it's a very relevant conversation to have, especially now where the market is shifting. There's the word recession being thrown around here and there. How is that affecting the commercial space? And how is that, a good opportunity for agents who are already specialized in real estate to potentially maybe look at, joining commercial or doing a little bit more of commercial real estate business, learning that side in order to, weather this storm?
Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up because we just did our training with Dave Kennard speaking, obviously helping eXp, but we're open to the platform for everyone to plug in to learn. And what we called it is in learning commercial. It's called diversifying your business. Understanding that in commercial, you could do leasing, which you get paid right away, like the office, industrial, retail, even renting, in multifamily, some of the units you get paid 1 month. There are opportunities that you can get paid, and in leasing, you get paid right away, and that's constantly moving. Leasing is always moving, but then different product types are changing. So it is good during slow times to educate yourself as much as possible, connect, find opportunities with others, because usually through your sphere of influence and just being active and reaching out to other people, people are going to say, I have this. And then it's for you to take that contact and monetize if you can, saying, I can't do it, but I know a person I could connect you with to do this business and make a fee. You can learn while you're, the other person's doing it. But everyone needs to stay in their lane saying, I can do it all. That's going to sound the worst to anyone. But if I know where to go, and that's what we're building this at eXp of education, training, building technology so people can plug in their needs, their wants, connecting people so you can connect within the company to do business. Whether you're in the company, which we love, or if you're not, helping other people is a way, because if you help enough people, I always love what Glenn says, you're going to get what you want. And that's absolutely true. And I keep that philosophy in mind. Don't worry about what I'm going to get or what you're going to get. Just do what you can do, and you're going to see what happens, right? And that's why we all say we want to teach as many people the commercial real estate and industry I love so much, because I believe if we do it right, more people will survive, and hopefully they'll learn from this to be in commercial and do some good because of just good experience and people playing it forward to you.
Right. Yeah. And I think, I think a lot of people what they don't understand is that I think, and you can, expand on this as well, is that commercial real estate is not as restrictive in terms of locality as residential real estate, right? As a residential agent, we all have to join a realtor board. We have to be with our local MLS. I don't believe that even exists with commercial real estate, right? You don't need to join an MLS or be with a realtor board. You can potentially do referrals, deals, and do creative structuring across the country and potentially even the world now with, like you said, we're open in 23 markets right now.
Yeah, exactly right. And I would just say we'd love to always work with NAR. I'm part of NAR commercial, did see, C5 in New York. So it's always collaboration, but it is true. Commercial has different groups. Like I mentioned, ICSC, International Council of Shopping Center. There's CCIM, there's SIOR, there's IREM, there's CREW. I mean, there is so much, BOMA, MAI. I mean, there are so many experts domestically, and they are international organizations. There's RICS, there's FIOPSI. I mean, in many of these groups, we're all friends, we all connect because product type specialty, right? You don't want to just say, I do everything. And through these networks, you get to know people the best in every industry or every facets of what you would like to do and connect. But not everyone has the time to invest and go to everything. But by connecting with the right influencers, leaders, you actually can be connected to the people. And those are the people that pay their dues. I paid my dues. I have my mentors that I pay my dues, play it forward, share information, and advocates that help me during this commercial journey. There's no way I could do it alone. And that's the one thing about commercial. You do it as a group. You surround yourself with experts and good people. You connect and you keep sharing knowledge, and you ask, right? And that's one of the things is during hard times, be vulnerable, ask for help, right? Reach out to people, because this is a time you need to connect with as many people to learn what they're doing, to share if there's a way you can help them, and then they may help you. But this is the time to connect, keep learning, find that opportunity, because during a downturn is where how even eXp started. Glenn Sanford saw that opportunity. Do we need brick and mortar? No, not always. So he created eXp. During a downturn, there's always opportunity where people figure out what are their business plans to solve a problem. So I'm always excited. As much as it sucks, going through the downtime, there is an opportunity to create something wonderful and new.
Right, exactly. It always is, right? Every single time we've seen a downturn, a recession, even the Great Depression, right? I've heard more millionaires are made from that than any other time in history. So it is a exciting time. It's not making light of anything, but it is an exciting time if you are forward thinking, if you're proactive, if you are going to go out there, take the actions, not let the outside environment weigh you down. It's a great opportunity to now go out there, capture market share, solve and create new solutions to problems, and even thrive during and after this.
Yes. And that's the thing. It's just hard for people that have gone through a boom cycle since, right? We've had a very long run, and not everyone has gone through multiple cycles. But if you do, you have the wisdom, stay grounded, don't over leverage. All right. You always hear these words. But when you do that, there is these, I get it. This is not scary. I was aware. But teaming and learning and connecting with people that have been around can help you through it. But you do have to work harder for less, but this is the strongest and best thing. Surviving through it, you will come out stronger, because a lot of people that leave, give up, gone, well, then you weather the storm, find other ways to make money, connect. You're going to come out stronger and better. And that's what you'll hear from old timers and people that I talk to. My mentors, they've gone through 3, 4, 5 cycles, right? And they get stronger, they get smarter, they get better every time they go through this. So let's just tell everyone, connect, collaborate, so we could all survive through this. Reach out, be vulnerable, ask for help, and you will get it during these times, because there's a lot of people that wants to help everyone through it. But you got to work hard too. You can't just get freebies and handouts. That doesn't happen.
No, it does not. And I love that you have that mentality. This is the testing grounds, right? If you survive this, that's how you get stronger, is that you are faced with more resistance and you have the ability to survive it and to solve these problems.
Exactly. And that's the one big thing we started when we were talking at our eXp con, when I got to moderate a panel. We were saying, it's your mentality. Be mentally tough, be mentally strong, be grateful, be grounded, right? Ask for the help, connect with other people. Treat this still like a job. Just because things have slowed down doesn't mean you're watching TV all day and goofing off. Treat this like a job. Have a schedule, have an accountability group. Make sure you're connecting and learning all the time to find that opportunity, right? Build your tribe like your wolf pack. Mike Sherrod, man, give you a shout out, brother, because I do love that. No, it is so important during this time. If you're by yourself, it's hard. If you're with a tribe, a group, a family, building a community, it's easier.
Right. Exactly. It definitely is. And I think that is one of the problems that eXp solves, right? Because I think for eXp, or for commercial agents or commercial brokers listening to this, it could be, they could be thinking, great, I see the proposition, but commercial brokers, they don't like to change, right? I think that's something that we all know. They don't like to change. So we have to give them the reason, right? So what would you say is the biggest problem, or some of the biggest problems that it's solving for commercial brokers, whether if it's something that's evergreen or something that's very market specific and time specific right now?
Yes. So this is the thing. You can bring a horse to water, but they're not going to drink if they don't want to. You can only share the opportunity and keep evolving it. Many friends says, I get it, Jim. This is a great platform. I'm too old now. I'm going to finish off my career, my own company, or where I'm at, but I get it. But by sharing sometimes the legacy you can build, really understanding their motivations. A lot of people are joining not because they need the money, but they're growing for their kids or grandkids. They're building their own shell so they can pass it to somebody else, right? So you need to find out their why, their motivation, and see whatever we're building. So that's why what we're building here at eXp Commercial, is a platform for you to build almost whatever bringing other experts in so you could put the engine and pieces together the way you want, but branding and building your legacy, right? Because everyone has a reason why or why not, or like everyone we know at eXp, eventually they come, right? After they keep watching you improving, they get FOMO, or they don't. But that's okay, because in commercial, I'll just tell you, we collaborate and do business with people we know, and we built a reputation. So we keep evolving, we keep growing, we keep asking your motivation, your why. And from finding that, we tailor answering your why. Because if you don't do that, you know, they're gonna not want to come over, or they don't understand what your platform is, or what our platform is. What are we trying to sell? And it's really solving the other person's problems and answering their why and solving their problem. But I'll just say, through technology, unfortunately, yes, older individuals, they're set in their ways. Technology, they don't want to use it. They don't want to adapt. They don't need to. But the younger generations, as the commercial real estate industry is getting older, so many younger real estate agents that want to learn this business wants to work in a new, creative way. And we hope we're solving that problem for them.
Yeah. And I think that's really great that you mentioned that as well, because this is a time where new, fresh talent is joining the industry, right? New talents joining the industry. More people are being excited about this. You guys are sharing on TikTok, right? You know, where that's where all the younger generation is. That's where their attention is, right? And that's the right thing to do. So, you know, for, you know, I think what you guys call it, junior agents, right? New agents, new commercial agents, you know, what is the structure or the training or the platform? I think in a lot of new agents, and I've gotten this question quite a few times, is, you know, they see the proposition, they see the benefit, and they want to be part of commercial, but they didn't really know how they can get started, the hand holding, you know, how much hand holding is there? And, you know, just how can you guys support newer people into this industry?
And Kobe, very good question, because we're not perfect, because we're virtual. And you do
Right.
sometimes need to be there with each other. So we keep evolving our system. One, we're building a corresponding training that's tracking you learning as a correspondence for you to get knowledge. And we roll that out in December 6th. You know, really, for those out there, follow us on LinkedIn with eXp Commercial, because we do share this. So you learn it through corresponding training, but we also have an academy taught by very seasoned commercial real estate coaches, trainers, teachers, right? They've been doing this for a long time. Their why is to come and teach younger generation, new people. That's why they joined eXp. They didn't care to, you know, kill it like they did before. They want to train and teach and educate and mentor. So we're constantly giving it to people however they like to learn. You want to learn correspondence. You want to learn it, you know, through a live person, virtual person. You want to learn in the office. So we're starting to evolve the different ways of learning, being cost effective, giving this opportunity, and then bringing experts of how do we keep learning, growing, improving. Because anyone that stops improving, you're going to, you know, languish. You're going to die. You're going to fall apart, right? Resting on your laurels too long, not being a little bit uncomfortable, thinking you know it all, right? These are the things that's going to cause trouble. But if you're constantly uncomfortable, constantly saying, I can learn more, I can listen, I can figure this out, and then reaching out to anyone. And I learned TikTok and some others from some people on our team that were younger. I go, you know what? Let's think about that. Let's change the way we're thinking. So you really could and can learn from everyone. You just have to have that open mind of listening, finding and vetting it out. And to be honest, trying. Some people are just too afraid to try and fail or make those cold call or door knocking because somebody's going to say no and you give up. You need to be consistent. You need to just keep going, right? It's okay to fail as long as you don't fail too badly. Fail fast, get back up, go again, try again. And that's what we're constantly doing, Kobe. We're constantly refining, improving, and we're not perfect. I hate to say, well, I come over perfect. No, but we're willing to learn, be constructive. Let us know what we can do to get better, and we will keep improving, all right? And that is a constant way of life. We're always growing to improve.
Right, exactly. And this is, you know, this is a perfect place to do it because like you said, we are a tribe, right? We are working together. It's not like you said, you are humble enough and big enough to admit that you're not, you know, you're not perfect, right? And that's, you know, that takes a very big, confident person to be able to do that, right? To admit that and to admit that they need to learn from other people and that there's something that can be taught to them anywhere. And that's how you grow. That's how you improve. And I think that's perfectly said, James, because, I think there's too many people out there, whether if it's in the realty space. I think this statistic is from just a residential side, is that like 85% of real estate agents just quit. They say fail, but I say quit within the first year of getting their license, right? Because there's no such thing as failing if you persist and continue and follow the process and just trust yourself and trust that you need to learn.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. And try it again sometimes, right? Maybe you didn't have the right mentor. Maybe you didn't have the right firm. And there's no perfect answer, right? Some people feel what's perfect or what's good for you, but then you evolve, right? Going to another firm, finding another mentor, but learning whoever taught you, wherever you learned from and grew from, be grateful, right? Because that's part of your journey. That is part of your growth story. Never hate upon how you started. As long as you don't give up, one day you're going to be here. And the biggest gratitude is giving and playing it forward to somebody else that becomes greater than you, bigger than you. You're like, wow, I inspired or helped somebody out. And that, to be honest, is the biggest goal for everyone, is how do you play it forward to build somebody or inspire somebody to be even greater?
Right. I 100% agree with that. And with eXp, the revenue share model, that, we're actually rewarded by the company to do exactly that, to build people and to teach them and to help them and to make them bigger than anything that we can possibly even be ourselves. And I absolutely love that. That is what, personally, that's what gives me a lot of fulfillment as well. So I really love that as well. So I want to be respectful of your time, James. So before I let you go here, I do want to ask, is there one or two or, a couple of success stories that are more glaring to you in the eXp commercial space that you like to share with the audience today?
What I really love, to be honest, is meeting people like you. Every time I get to do interviews or meet people, I get to meet. And I always say, I'm paid to meet people. I'm paid to share with people. I'm paid to learn with people. I love that. And my thing is just putting the puzzle. And I always say this: we want to change the way commercial real estate is done. We want to change the way it looks and how it's done with younger people, with more women, with people that are underserved, with all communities, to be a part of this global industry. And we hope once you learn all these skill sets, ways to put money together, ways to do development, reaching out with new technology ideas, green technology, renewable, and we are putting a lot of cool things together. Some individual group will make these big differences and changes that can make this impact on this world. So that's what we hope to do, is to change the industry, get more people involved in this industry, and make a difference in this industry.
Right. And you guys are definitely doing that. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have you, share your knowledge today and to continue the collaboration and to finally have met you over Zoom. So it's very exciting for me as well. But yeah, I want to thank you again for being here and sharing your knowledge with us today. And for those of you who are interested in potentially learning about this and learning more about you, James, what are some good ways that they can reach out to you specifically, or your social media, or, just to learn about or follow commercial real estate?
Yeah. Oh, so please go to eXp Commercial on LinkedIn, or you can follow me at James Huang, James, last name Huang, on LinkedIn. And if you put James Huang eXp Commercial, I should pop up. But definitely follow us on eXp Commercial, because we are doing so many things to teach, to innovate, to create, to share, to collaborate, right? And working together to make a difference, because it is important that we do share as much. And I do believe in abundance, helping, sharing, giving more. Good things will just happen. I've lived my life through this principle and it served me pretty well. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Right. Awesome. I love it, James. And if you guys are interested in joining eXp Commercial, make sure to look at the link in the description down below and have a private conversation with me. And I'll introduce you to James personally, and we'll share all about it with you. But other than that, is there any last thoughts, last words you want to leave with our audience today before you sign off?
Be optimistic, have a positive mind, be grounded, be grateful for what you have, because I will always say, it could always be worse. Don't always think it's half full or half empty. It is full, and just live a grateful, good, blessed life. So to me, I always think that is the most important. We're breathing this great air. We're being in this country. We're working and living. So just be happy. I mean, I really do believe that you are already free if you're happy.
Wow, what a great message to leave us on. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you being here, James. And for our audience tuning in, thank you again for tuning in. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.